When I started my entrepreneurial journey and created my fitness business, I wanted success fast. Within 6 months, I was in America and California, working with people who owned one of the top 10 gyms in America, the whole of America. I'd met them at a conference, for want of a better phrase, a few months earlier. And as soon as I met them, I really resonated with them, and I really liked them. And when the offer was there to go over, I did. And there was a few of us from the UK ended up going. And then I took up on that coaching for a year. And I remember feeling overwhelmed by it. I think I was so new to all this. There was a few things I wasn't comfortable doing. I was trying to do it. And I listened to all their group calls, their monthly calls, and I was posting their forums and that. And I got a lot from it. But I felt that urge of, this isn't good enough. This wasn't for me. This wouldn't work for me. So then I jumped onto another mentor. And the same thing happened. I stayed with him far too long. Nothing to do with that guy. It was me. Because I started realizing that I was the constant here. All these people were successful, and yet I wasn't being. So it couldn't be anything they were doing, because there was only one constant, and the constant was me. I was always in the center. And if it wasn't working, it's because I wasn't allowing it to work. I was putting myself in my own way. I was almost resisting it. I was always good at fighting. And of course, when you fight something, whether it's martial arts or anything, it's all about resistance. It's all about struggle. And for the longest time, I just didn't get it. Even when I worked with my good friend and mentor, Jeff Thompson. I understood his message, but because I couldn't relate his message to me in a way where I could then apply it. All this information was great. It was true, but I wasn't taking the instruction and applying it. And because I wasn't doing that and finding an excuse, I was just going around in circles, which just frustrated the shit out of me. It really did. And then I realized that if I'm the only constant, then I've got to remove the resistance from myself and lean in. I keep talking about leaning in. It's because I just didn't realize that at the time my body was trying to say what the issue was. And just like everybody else, or the majority of people, whether they get headaches or they get aches, or they don't feel right, or they feel off, they just get on with life and just accept them for what they are. Oh, that's just an ache, just this. But it shouldn't be. The subtle messages that your body is trying to tell you something. It's the same with fear. I always like the acronym face everything and rise, because it's an instruction. It's not, I see it, false evidence appearing real is the acronym. That's just a statement. It doesn't have anything. Well, face everything and rise. It's confront your fears, lean into your fears, lean into the feeling of what is going on with you inside. Stop looking for the answers externally. Look inside, feel inside, lean in, face it, and then keep going regardless. Because the fear is where the path is. So many people recoil from it, and I've done the same. Despite knowing about fear, despite studying fear, I kind of found my own nemesis within it. And as a result, I just got embroiled in it. Which is why I realised that I was the constant, all these people were successful. But I'd end up becoming an information gatherer instead of an action taker. I was taking action, but not the way I should have. And very soon I almost felt like I couldn't do it myself. I put myself in a position like when I was a child where you had to have permission to do something. I thought, how the hell did I allow this to happen? That I'm looking to other people to give me permission to live my life. That's bollocks. So I don't do that anymore. And if I feel the urge or the feelings or the thoughts like that, again, I stop. Lean in. What is the real message? Where do I have to go? What do I have to do? And then I follow that path. And yes, it's more challenging, it's more difficult, it is. uncomfortable, but there's no growth in comfort. I know this. And the only way to get through this is to sit in this thought, this fear, and just marinate in it and understand what it actually is. And stop fighting, stop resisting. Bruce Lee came up with a great phrase: be like water, formless, shapeless, because it can form anything. If you pour water in a cup, it becomes, it is the cup or the kettle or whatever it needs to be, but it still has tremendous power. And I think that's a great message. So today, like every other day and the days going forwards, it's about being water. Don't resist. Just let yourself flow into where you have to go or where you feel you choose to go. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I am doing. Yes, I still get days when I feel shit, but now there's a process of not accepting that. I found out why that is. I have frustrations every day. Had some this morning. Getting frustrated by certain things, and then I sit down thinking, you're going round in circles. Stop. What's the answer here? What's the thought? What's the thing that you perceive as a barrier? And challenge that barrier. And that's what I'm doing. And that's it, really. Any barriers are really just messages, feelings of what has to be overcome or understood to move forwards. So that's how I spend part of my day, understanding, so I can move like water with that power, but able to move and adjust and flow as I go. Until next time, cheers. Bye.